Greetings and welcome to Skarn. This is a land that has been built up, fought over, raised, and built up again numerous times across the ages. The peoples are hardy and tough, the land unforgiving and harsh, and the deities gone from the world. After the Divine War, the Divine races and the Redeemed had a truce, but that time has run up, and their shorter-lived races view the Divine War as a distant memory. Skarn is changing, and along with it, our heroes. I bid thee greetings, redeemed and divine races, Titan spawn and ancient ones. I am Patrick, known on the winds of change, and the beaks of birds as Patty Shakes _ and I am the game master for this story. This is session 8 of Dracogenesis, Titan's Lament, taking place in Scarred-Lands, a setting published by Onyx Path Publishing. This is an awesome adventure brought to you by Vorpal Tales. You can find Vorpal Tales on lots of places on the internet. Of course, we are on Twitch, right here, right now. Consider giving us a follow or subscribe. Check out Twitter, where we tweet daily at Vorpal Tales. A Facebook and Instagram, where you get great pictures of all our cast and GMs outside of the tabletop. A website, vorpaltales.com, where you can get all the latest news about everything we're doing and see our up-to-date calendars. A Patreon, where if you feel so inclined, you can toss a coin to us in order to make more, better, and Vorpal-tailier content. You can join the other wonderful Snicker Snacks and Slivy Troves, like Weapon M, John Arnetto, and David. Finally, a Discord, where you can come hang out with us awesome humans and discuss all kinds of topics, or just play some video games with us. I would like to thank Onyx Path Publishing for making an incredible world and setting to use to amaze and delight. Also to Astro Tabletop for being our virtual tabletop and platform for our players to roll their dice. Additionally to N8 Mid for the fantastic character sheet he created for this game. A thank you goes to Vinsvet, a wonderful YouTube channel that has amazing music to set your adventure to it. Additionally, Vorpal Tales has some new sponsors we would love to tell you about. First is QUEmpire.com, a small company making original dice and products for your favorite RPGs and card games. Use code VorpalTales for 10% off at their website. Next is the Deck of Many, known for their various reference cards, but also for creating the Humblewood and Hecna campaign settings. Visit VorpalTales.com, click on our affiliate link, and anything you purchase, a portion of it will benefit the show. Finally is Gemhammer & Sons, an RPG supplement store that has everything from Decks of Wonder to Decks of Illusion to dice. Once again, use discount code VorpalTales for 10% off their website. Also of note, Gemhammer & Sons is running a Kickstarter currently. They are making a dungeon deck where the idea is that you can sit down, pull out the deck of dynamic dungeons, and create a wonderful experience for some players on the fly. No need for prior planning. The GM doesn't need to sit down and draw his own dungeon. You can just draw some cards. They have all the information you need to create a wonderful encounters of randomness, varying from easy to hard. So you should check out the Kickstarter. It's called Deck of Dynamic Dungeons.
13 days left.
Yes. So hurry up and support it, or you're going to miss out. All right. So in just a moment here, our cast is going to introduce themselves. But I would like to point out the fact that Pinky is no longer part of the cast, and we will miss her. So all best wishes to her and her future endeavors. So now, the rest of you, please introduce yourselves as you look to explore, spelunk, socialize, and bring your influence onto this world of Skarn. Say who you are, where people can find you on the internet, and who you'll be playing tonight.
I am Dwayne. You guys can find me on the internet at Made of Kimchi, and tonight I will be playing Artificer Battlesmith Extraordinaire Sousa.
Hey everybody, I'm Ever, my pronouns are they, them, and tonight I shall be playing Yenei, who is not a girl, but not yet sure of what they are. So, for now, their pronouns are they, them, and you can find me all over the internet as Changeling Ever.
That is me. Hello everybody, I am Steve. You can find me on the internet at Voodoo Arcade in pretty much all places. And tonight I am playing the group's fighter wizard man elf, Lamalthun. He's kind of a bastard, but
the best combination in the game, fighter wizard.
Yes, fighter wizard. You literally can't beat it, I assume.
I'm like the paladin, the wizard, or the cleric fighter. But I am Devin. I am playing the paladin Gar tonight. You can find me online at Sword of Sullied.
And I am J3 Billion. I will be playing Devok, our shaman sorcerer.
All right, thank you very much, adventurers. Now, before we forget ourselves and escape for a little while into a realm of sword and sorcery, here in the world today, many people are struggling with very real matters and combating their own monsters. February is a month of health awareness. It is American Heart Month. February is not just for in-love hearts, but healthy hearts. Make sure you're mitigating your risk of heart disease. Hand in hand, it is also National Self-Check Month. Selfcheck.org, that's selfcheck.k, has a ton of resources available to you to check yourself for a variety of common chronic diseases and conditions. The very important Black Lives Matter movement is also still going on. It is especially important this month as it is also Black History Month. We ask that you educate yourselves about icons and individuals who have helped shape history, culture, and politics that you may be ignorant to, and work with your fellow humans to better the world. As Thurgood Marshall, the first African-American Supreme Court Justice, said, "Where you see wrong or inequality or injustice, speak out, because this is your country. This is your democracy. Make it, protect it, and pass it on." Now, before you gaze further into the story of these adventurers, allow our paladin to remind you what they have already conquered and overcome.
Well, last week we began with a big fight with a char fiend, some magic cultists, and a lot of prisoners ready to be sacrificed. After we got caught attempting to get the drop on them, Lamalthun got double teamed, Terahana got triple teamed, but somehow we all made it out alive. Mostly thanks to our fuzzy mechanical friend Brillo for taking out both the Charfiend and the Black Earth Champion. After the fight, Duvok explained the origin of his arrival as a sacrifice and how it was given to him as a vision that he would help us out, though not nearly as neatly said as it was lived, as Duvok had to get captured and held captive for 9 days while waiting for us to finally come so that we could join forces. And after saving the prisoners that were there, Lamalthun went a little crazy searching for some new magic, only to be outdone by everyone there having natural magical aptitude as sorcerers. So now we have our box of Mormo bits and are heading back home.
Thank you, Gar. All right. So yes, you all decided to take a long rest in the cave that you had cleared out, made sure was safe. Really the only bit of evil left there living was the bit of Mormo. But seeing as you'd have to have it in your companionship and travel with it anyway, you figured a defensible cave like this is a boon out in the Blood Steppes. So you decided to rest down for the night. You all wake up and immediately notice that Terahana is no longer amongst the group. A couple of you kind of step outside the cave, look around. When you come back, you notice that all of her stuff is gone. And where she had been sleeping, she had scratched and etched into the ground the symbol of Madriel. It seems that in order to find her own way and to become the person she was destined and wanted to become and transform into, she had to go her own way and forge her own path. So, knowing that you will miss your friend, but she is walking a path of one that she's being at least hopefully guided on by Madriel, you take one last look over the cave and decide to venture back towards New Veneer.
Sousa is sad that she has lost her traveling companion, but knows that wherever she is, it is for the better.
We have all the refugees with us, right? Or prisoners, or word
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we.
Question.
Oh, go ahead.
Question real quick. What is our food and water situation looking like? Because we are presumably going to have to help these people back to at least some semblance of civilization.
Good question. So the group that came here and are essentially your rescuers. They brought for themselves enough rations to make it out here, spend a couple days out here if necessary, depending on what the situation was like, and make it back. But being able to plunder from the cultist stores, you'd be able to get enough, especially with knowing, now that you know the lay of the land, how to get back. You also know that there is a friendly farm on the way back, that rations would not be a problem.
They have the best tomatoes.
You would be able to make it back to New Veneer and without any threats of starvation or dehydration.
That sounds absolutely fantastic. It has been a hot second since I have had a tomato.
We have lamb as well.
Lamb? I have never tried lamb. You butcher lamb?
The mouth dude walks away from that comment. Like
they have great. I mean, you shear the wool from them, yes, and you make clothing from them. You don't, but you also butcher them.
Yeah.
Glances back and forth at Brillo, Talatavak.
Interesting.
They let you know that their plan is to travel back to New Veneer, the country, but specifically to Elysium, which, you know, you would have, as that is one of the closer border cities to the Bloodsteppes and kind of the nomadic areas that you're from, you'd have at least heard of it. So, and besides, you know, trying to find a welcoming tribe of either Manticora or Orc or Ironbred, that would be the closest and safest location to take these refugees to. So,
is that a bigger city than the one we came from?
No, Elysium is where you guys came from.
Oh, it is. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's been a while since that city name was said aloud.
Gotcha.
So, quick question at all. Like, I was not too far removed from my own clan. Would I know where they were at?
Roughly, I mean, you do know that they are semi-nomadic, so, but you would know the general areas to look if you really wanted to join back with the clan.
Right, and just they're probably not on our way then at that point.
Yeah, so just like any other nomadic clan, they generally follow their prey. So they'd follow the herds of deer, or they'd follow the herds of whatever is currently herding. As you know, the world itself is rebuilding. But they would also follow, you know, different growing patterns. So they would know, like, when the berry bushes are sprouting versus when, you know, wild corn is sprouting versus those kinds of things. So those are the cycles they would follow. So, you know, depending on what time of year it is going to depend where your clan is. So it's not like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's more like trying to find, you know, like, you know, a rubber ducky in a bathtub. You know, you definitely could do it. Just a little bit of looking. Yeah.
I guess the question was just like, if it was convenient, maybe we could stop by there as well before.
It'd be kind of like 1/2 dozen, 6, you know, versus 6. You know.
Okay.
And you probably want to get the refugees to a city as opposed to you know, something more rural. They're just that way, you know, because these people were taken from all across the world, you know, the country. So taking them to a city would allow them to kind of get transport back to where they came from, or at least be able to figure out what their next steps are.
All right, so back to the city then. I would like to stop by this farm. It sounds like. So you were tasked to come here by this lady at the farm, yes?
No, we were tasked by Belsimith. You know,
he's at the
old
city.
hag.
You know,
The old hag is at the city?
No, the name Belsmith. You would know of the gods. Just about every single living thing in the world knows the main gods, at least. And Belsmith is the goddess of lycanthropy, the moon, murder, madness, and witchcraft. So not necessarily one of the nice ones. So when Gar kind of is just upfront about, Bellsmith came, and you also would know, as someone who knows of Madriel, you know that Bellsmith is Madriel's twin sister, and is the opposite of Madriel in just about every way, shape, or form. Whereas Madriel is the sun, Bellsmith is the moon. Whereas Madriel is healing, Bellsmith is murder.
Wow, you guys stepped in between.
Well, we didn't really
Okay,
have
all
a
right.
choice. We were kind of drugged, and
She tempted us with sausages.
Sausages are indeed tempting, and ale. Okay, all right. I mean, it's hard. It's hard for me to like. It just. Jeez, she is not a nice person. How did she tempted you with sausages and ale?
well, she kind of appeared as a busty maid, and
And then she changed into an old hag and scared the crap out of us and got the beer not to go down my throat. It was very uncomfortable.
Yes.
That sounds very terrifying.
it was. So as you can see, but also in my opinion, when she had asked us to go after these cultists of Mormo, I needed to. I'm from the Broadreach. Shut up, Malthun.
You hear that name, and you're like, is that a forest it's not from? Like, how far away is that forest? the only forest you know of is the Hornsaw.
Sounds like a hop, skip, and a jump from here.
I take that back. There are several forests nearby, but none of them match Broadsaw, the Broadreach. There's the Hornsaw, there's the Stricken Forest that no one goes into or out of. There's the Ganjuice, and then there's like this weird kind of like grove that the humans took dominion over as part of their Celestian hegemony. You don't really care about. But yeah, the three forests you know are the Stricken, the Ganjuice, and the Hornsaw. No Broadreach.
Is that a lost name for one of the forests around here, or?
Well, as Malthun would like to remind everyone, including me, it's also known as the Hornsaw.
Ah, that name strikes you.
Lamalthun.
Being from the Haggard Hills and the Blood Steppes, the Hornsaw is one of those places you don't really go into unless you have to.
Oh, interesting. And you say you come from this place?
Oh yes, deep into the center.
Huh. My clan doesn't go anywhere near that place. They say it's dangerous, and some of them at times say it's cursed. Others say we've had people actually go into that forest and never come out again.
Exactly.
The people who do come out are not ever quite the same.
Well, it's cursed. It's cursed by Mormo's heart. So, when they wanted to revive Mormo, I felt a moral obligation to stop that from happening.
Indeed, a worthy endeavor. Yes, I can understand this, and I am starting to understand more of why Madriel has sent me on this path to help this piece of Mormo find its place into at least respectable hands. But where do we go? As being presumptuous, but where does everyone go after this is taken care of?
We assume that Balsamith will let us know.
We still have your mystery in Elysian to solve. That was of the deal.
I'm not a
bring back
puppet. I'm not a puppet for whatever the gods want to be done. We were forced into this. We've done this job. We've shown once again our capabilities exceed theirs. well, they needed us to do this. We'll go forward from there.
Lamel, Athun, just a question real quick. Your ability exceeds that of a god.
Our humans, mortals, elves, all the mortals together.
It was us that found the peace, not her.
Correct. And stopped the cult and are taking care of this peace going forward. Remember who empowers the gods.
They did. It is a wholehearted idea to think that a collective entity is greater than the sum of its creator. It is an interesting idea, not one I openly share. I have thought about it, but the gods themselves seems more lackadaisical for me. They just, at some point, they want their deeds done and they want their tasks completed, but on a grand scale, for a lot of them, they just don't want to dirty their hands. And that, for me, is a little bit of a depressing thought, I suppose.
Depressing, yes. But enlightening, the more you think about it.
Empowering, even.
Yes. Indeed so. But we have plenty of time for these conversations.
We do have a long road ahead of us.
We do. We
Indeed.
should, now that we've rested, we should waste no more time.
Okay.
Come, Brillo, take the lead.
No offense, but I don't wish to be pooped on by bats any longer.
With that, I assume you'd want Yune leading you all.
Or Brillo, I
Yes.
guess. Go on, Brillo.
Can Brillo just be out front? Just be a...
How are Brillo's navigating skills?
We'll just have,
You know what? That's a
Yune
good question.
on
Can we just
Brillo.
wind up Brillo and just like send him just like a minesweeper for
Does
traps?
Brillo have GPS?
No
Turn
satellites to
back
hold him
here.
down.
No. We'll just have Yune on Brillo, and that way we got, the Tower Scout.
Onward!
Yeah, not exactly a stealthy creature.
No, I'm not looking for stealth. I'm looking more for tracking ability, pathfinding.
Can Brillo literally keep us on the right path home?
What is Brillo's survival?
It doesn't exist.
So it'd be a wisdom throw then, or wisdom skill check.
Wisdom's survival depends on me. However, Brillo is vigilant and cannot be surprised.
Okay.
That's kind of.
I believe you said previously people can ride Brillo. One person could ride Brillo.
Yeah, they're big
So-
enough to carry one person.
I mean, if it's all one to ride Brillo, that's fine. But you would need Yune leading all of you in order for you not to get lost.
It is up to you, Yune, if you wish to ride our friend. If not, he will follow.
I say you've never
You-
lived once until you've ridden a mechanical sheep.
Yune is conflicted about this because Brillo looks kind of sharp.
Oh yes, it would not be a comfortable ride.
Yes, there are pointy bits.
I think I'll walk.
Especially since Sousa really hasn't had a chance to buff out the repairs.
Yeah.
Like Brillo's at full HP essentially and fine, but like he's not designed for comfort yet. It's very utilitarian, so
I'm surprised this is the first this has come up. Have you not designed a saddle for this Brillo?
I kind of made them on the fly.
Yes, if you need help creating a saddle, I have some skill with leather.
You
I
could
thought
say
you
you
made
made
him
him
on
on
the
the
farm.
lamb.
When Devoke offers to make the saddle, you immediately are interested as orcs are known for their riding abilities. They, as part of their nomadicness, they are like if someone could get past their hatred and their pettiness and forge a serious alliance with the orcs, they would have the best cavalry in the world. They are just known for their horsemanship, their riding skills, and then to go along with that, their leather making skills for saddles and harnesses and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Horses.
I have dabbled a little bit in my time, and just let me know. I am interested to see someone ride this Brillo, or me. I would like to ride this Brillo. I'm not gonna lie. I think it'd be great.
Well,
Sounds like a fun time.
Let us speak on our way. We will have a meeting of minds on our way back to the city.
Interesting. Yes. And I start just churning through ideas. Wonder if I still have my notepad. Probably not. I just pull out from my things a soggy notebook that was just has paper dripping down. Seems to be a little bit destroyed.
That random piece of parchment that you had hidden in a loincloth.
No, it would have been a sketchbook.
It's a book wrapped in leather. But yes, I mean, it's just pages just start falling out as I open it up. Seems to be a little bit of water damage. Okay, just rip the page out, put the leather back. Oh.
Yeah, the cultists did not take the best of care of your items while you were held in captivity.
Okay. Frustrating,
Right, so
upsetting. That's fine. That's cool.
So Yune will take the lead. I just need to know: are you going to head straight back to Elysian, or are there any pit stops at any of the points of interest on your way here that you want to stop back at?
We were gonna stop at that farm, right?
Yeah, because we do need to stop for Gar to check in on the old lady, and we are going to need some foodstuffs for the rest of our entourage.
Do we want to make a pit stop at the little girl's?
I was just about to say that.
Just to check on the little girl.
I would like to. Maybe she's come to her senses by now. Oh wait, she's a ghost, isn't she?
We don't know.
The DM shrug. Either way, we can stop. We can double check.
Okay.
So that would be your first stop. It would take most of the day to get back there, to get to that point. Especially because you're moving a little bit slower now, just because you do have these ex-prisoners that they've been in captivity for varying amounts of time. Some just as little as a week. Some have been in there a month. So they're in varying states of neglect and abuse. So you kind of have to just take it at generally slightly slower speed than if it was just the 5 of you adventurers. Full strength, rah. We're very strong, hardy people. So you get to the point on the path where you see the same upturned wagon, but it looks like it's almost the wagon and the wood that made it up have almost aged another like 20 years or so. The wood rot has set in even more. But yeah, you're about 20 yards away from it.
Should this have aged this quickly?
No.
Did we just do a time warp?
I've heard it's just a jump to the left.
Please no.
You run really fast. You can, if you get up to 60 miles per hour, I hear you can.
Miles per hour.
Wait, what's a mile per hour?
I'm just going to make a quick shout. Hey, girl, you still home?
No response.
I'm gonna go sneakily check up on the wagon.
All right, give me a stealth roll.
$14.
Okay. The sun is still, it's not quite setting yet, so the sun is still kind of high up, and there's not a lot of kind of, foliage or trees or, height differences to really use to mask your approach. So you're very quiet, but it only just takes someone to look and they would be able to see you. But you were able to get to the wagon unmolested. Nothing yells out at you, nothing sees you, nothing acknowledges your presence, and you're able to kind of it was on its side, so you're at one of the wheels.
Sousa will approach the cart.
Stealthily as well, or
no, not stealthily, but not in a big hurry.
Okay, sure.
Seeing that Yane is not under any type of attack, she will approach, and once she sees the state that the cart has changed since the last time that we saw it, she will sit down in front of it and place that new staff that she got into the ground next to her.
Okay.
And begin to move her hands, speak in her beautiful Asathi voice, and cast mending on the cart.
Okay. And as you do, you see some of the age strip away from it. You see missing planks just kind of magically reform and take the shape. And it takes a couple castings of mending, but it does kind of finally take its final and full and original shaping. Still no, no one is there. No one comes out to investigate kind of this phenomena that you were causing.
Is it like a full functional cart again?
Essentially, it's just overturned now.
Gar, can you help me?
I can try, but I'm still an old man, so...
Alright, I'll come over and help. What is it you need?
Alright, you take a side, I'll take the other side. Let's flip this thing back onto its wheels.
Let's right this thing back up.
This would need all of you would need to go and help with this, just because the cart is a pretty significant size and weight.
Okay.
Whoever is the strongest, or whoever wants to make the roll, essentially, can give me an athletics with advantage.
I have a 4.
This seems like this seems like infantry work, not scout work.
Or it is then.
Well, +0.
Alright. Do I get a bonus at all, or?
You get advantage.
Okay. Good, because the 22 is a 9.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Working together as a team, you are able to right the cart. You kind of push it a little bit, and
Can I be the guy on the edge of something that you're all pushing, just like with one hand on it, just being like, yes, I'm pushing.
We are helping each other.
put your backs into it.
Just gonna look over at him, just...
How long would it take Sousa to strap this thing onto Brillo so that our refugees don't have to walk?
What's Brillo's strength? What's just like Brillo's strength score?
Good question. Looking. Strength is only 14.
Let's see something here. 14. Okay, so you look at kind of the whole thing. You see how you know the capabilities and the strength of Brillo pretty intimately as its inventor. You could probably put like the three most injured people in it, and Brillo would be able to pull that, but not anybody else. So you'd be able to, you would be able to improve your travel time to like a normal travel time with that.
That's better than nothing.
But yeah, you would not be able to put everyone in there with that. It would just require a little bit of tinkering to kind of figure out the best way to get Brillo hooked up to this. So give me...
I have all the tools.
I know you should have Tinker's tools, correct?
I have, yeah.
Okay,
I have Tinker's tools. I've got all kinds of tools.
Perfect. So using your Tinker's tools, give me an intelligence check. So that means you can add your proficiency to this. And then if you, like, I forget what artificers get, if they get advantage or not when using Tinker's tools.
It's just a proficiency, so
okay,
whatever,
yeah. So
whatever
it would. So for everyone else, if anyone else tried to make this check, they would have to do a straight up intelligence check by itself. But using your Tinker's tools, you can add your proficiency bonus as well.
So whatever this is, this will be a +2.
Okay. 16.
Yes.
Yeah. Within 10 minutes, you kind of quickly take the existing bridle and setup for draft horses that this would use, and you modify it so that it attaches to Brillo, no problem. You even kind of slip in a quick release lever so that if you were ambushed or something, you'd be able to very quickly, as a bonus action, unhook Brillo to be able to, assist in defending all of you.
Okay.
All right. You assist the three most, kind of exhausted and malnourished refugees onto the wagon. They seem very grateful. Not just because they don't have to walk anymore, but because with the mending, the covering to this wagon was repaired as well, so they're also out of the sun.
Oh, out of the sun. Oh, okay, that's good.
And so yes, you're able to continue. You kind of look once you flipped over that cart. By the way, there was like a little kind of area that had been grown around it, and it kind of made that full kind of hideout, kind of treehouse kind of feel that little girl had. And you look around in there, you do see some of the same mementos that she had. That I forget who went in there with her. But
I think it was Lamausu that gave her a dagger.
Yeah, so you do see the dagger there, and you see just kind of like some other smallish keepsakes. You see like a journal that's just kind of nothing, no new information. Like you've just flipped through it really quick. You see like a couple of like keepsake trade items that don't have any value now. It was just what was on the original wagon, but no trace of the little girl.
Can I use my tracker type skills to see if there's any sign of her in any form? Whether it's bones or tracks or...
Sure, yeah. Give me a survival check to see if you can see if, maybe if she moved, if she fled, if,
17.
17. So you kind of, as everyone's kind of, as you're fixing the wagon and adjusting it, helping people on, you take just another moment to look around. You don't see any tracks of hers, nor do you see like any like Titan spawn or other like human tracks that might have led to her or something bad. It just looks like nobody's been. And what you actually see, and what kind of it throws you off initially, is it looks like there's been no disturbance of this area for a very long time, like past when you guys were here last.
My friends, I don't know if that girl was really there when we saw her.
Hold on.
What do you mean?
Not everything is always as it seems at first look. Give me just a few minutes. Maybe sit back. And I'll walk up and kind of like kneel down to do my elf trance meditation kind of like thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay. 10 minutes go by. It's kind of that moment where Sousa has like triple checked that Brillo's hooked up correctly, and the other survivors are kind of getting to the foot tapping moment of like, okay, what are we doing? We're kind of just like sitting out here in the open, and this is a very unfriendly place. But your ritual casting of detect magic goes off, and you get a very faint sense of one moment. One moment. I need to look up the specific school of magic. Of conjuration magic.
And what does Malthun know about conjuration magic and time
Conjuration magic?
distortion?
Conjuration magic is not usually associated with
So it's-
the changing or altering of time. That would be transmutation magic, or maybe even sometimes divination magic. Conjuration magic very obviously would be used to conjure beings from different planes, whether through that someone of Yune's prowess might be able to conjure woodland beings to their cause, or summon fey creatures, whereas warlocks would summon creatures from the abyss to do their biddings. So conjuration magic is also sometimes associated with teleportation and the shifting of planes.
So the magic here doesn't tend to match up specifically with any sort of time distortion fields, but who knows what might have happened with what was conjured, pulling from other planes, anything like that.
Did you know that depending on what plane, or if that was what happened, other planes' influence on the material world varies from plane to plane. It's very well documented that wizards will go to the Feywild for what they feel is a year and come back in 20 years and die.
Yeah. So yeah.
Or yeah, so not sure, but that's what you get from your detect magic.
So I just relay all of that. Some sort of conjuring magic could have been something where just a plane sat here and made time go all... I believe the official wizard term is wonky.
Or spooky woo?
Spooky woo.
Well,
I have heard it called timey-wimey.
No, that doesn't sound right. That sounds...
That would be the orcish term for it, yes. Okay, so Malthun gets up from his trance, and there's kind of this moment of information exchange, and more weirdness to the blood steps.
Ain't no thing.
Able to continue on.
Blood steps.
The next stop would be the farm. Now, you could camp here if you wanted with your newly formed wagon, or you could, if the sun is starting to get to where it's going to set, you could push through, travel through the night, and get there early morning. It's your call.
Child, how's your celestial navigation?
I believe I could navigate. It's very dark within the broad reach, anyhow, so...
question also gets whether or not our new following is able to keep up all night long.
That is an important note. These traveling companions of mine originally are not as hearty as we all are. It seems. Some of them are injured, some of them are malnutritious. Like, some of them were in that cave longer than I was.
How, out of character, how's our living luggage looking?
None of them look like they're gonna, drop dead. It's not that kind of situation. It's just, they've been through a lot. They've been watching human sacrifice for the last X amount of days, and not just like, a quick dagger to the throat, spill the blood kind of sacrifice, like some truly gruesome, horrific shit. So, how far you want to push these individuals is up to you.
I think perhaps that, friends, we should allow these folks to rest.
I agree, and I can make a fire for us.
If you feel that's the best course of action.
Well, I do and I don't. Who knows what's out here at night? And we don't have shelter, we just have the wagon. It could be very dangerous, actually, but...
It also could be dangerous if, say, half the people here kind of sheer off from the group and we have to find them as well in the middle of the night.
I believe it's safe to say that if you veer off from the group, you are getting left behind.
They want to walk away from us, and the only safety here.
I'm
probably give them a couple words to make sure they don't, though, just in case.
I'm not. Yes, I'm not saying it would be intentional by any stretch of the imagination, but traveling in the dark with companions who are not always correct in the mind. Speaking of experience myself, I am not okay by any stretch of the imagination. But maybe I'm just making the case for maybe we relax and start out fresh in the morning.
Sounds like the group needs to take to a vote.
Susa's good with a rest.
I say we press on. The faster we get out of the open, the better.
Okay, 1-on-1.
About how far away are we from the farm?
A night.
You would need to travel. Yeah, you need to travel completely through the night, and you'd get there at the early morning. Like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
We could arrive in time for fried tomatoes.
This is tempting.
There isn't many things better than fried tomatoes. I will say that.
Gar says we take the break. Take the night.
Okay. It's 2-1.
I will also say to take the break.
All right, that's majority.
Perhaps we should ask our followers.
They just kind of like all have these like sunk. Most of them have these sunken in eyes. A lot of them haven't been talking a lot. They just kind of look at you guys and like, you saved us. We'll go wherever you tell us to go. Just we can't thank you enough. Thank you. Whatever you think is best. You clearly are more experienced in this matter.
Understood.
In that case, Susa will immediately start getting alarm ready as a ritual. And disconnecting Brillo from the wagon and setting him in sentry mode.
Sounds good. All right, so Brillo will be on sentry mode, so that will make watches a little bit easier. Is anyone going to watch with Brillo, or are you all going to rest?
I don't need full rest, so...
True,
Yes,
elf
I vote
meditation.
Our elves take dual watch with Brillo.
Okay. Yeah, with the meditates of elves, you can each take. There would only need to be 2 watches, essentially.
Yep.
Okay. Who's going first? Malafun or Yune?
I shall.
Yune takes a couple of arrows out of their quiver, puts them into the ground, strings the bow, lays across their lap and just kind of settles their back in against a log you kind of use to make a rough perimeter of your camp. And the rest of you are able to fall asleep. Yanae, give me a perception check. You can have it with advantage since Brillo's on sentry mode.
Sweet.
Ooh, 22 is a good start. Let's see if it gets any better. Nope.
It does not.
Doesn't matter. The 22 is very good. So you kind of settle in where you've got your back to a very small, like kind of part of the road that's open, so you'd be able to hear. You kind of just scan in quadrants. You divide your 180-degree field of view into like 3 quadrants. You just watch. And every 30 minutes or so, you spin around and watch the other side. You watch goes by mostly uneventful. You do hear a couple rustles every now and then, but you're able to quickly attribute it to small game or smaller predators that would leave a large gathering of humans like this alone. You look to the stars. You see a couple shooting stars. Able to make a couple wishes. And other than that, the night goes by and realizes it's time for the Malthane's shift.
I poke him with my toe. Hey, you.
There's a boot in your face.
No, not in the face.
No, okay.
I probably like
small in the back.
Yes, very gently, but I would be going, hey, you, Malthun, you, psst, hey, you, hey.
Enough. A simple tap on the shoulder would do.
It would, but then I wouldn't get to pester you that much.
Just turn and look at them. Children.
Olds.
Alright, Malthun, you get set up for watch.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Brillo on sentry mode. You can give me a perception check with advantage.
$16.
Yeah, 16 is not bad.
Yeah, 16.
16 is not bad. Past your time, you kind of go through some traditional Drendali sword stances. You kind of just flick your rapier back and forth, go through a couple of, blind, riposte, parry. Just kind of keeping your mind and body. It's not too physically demanding, it's just something to keep you awake.
Gotcha.
You also hear a couple rustles, are able to attribute it to a small game as well, though. You're actually able to see an owl take down what looks to be a small, like, vole or possum or something. Just kind of watching nature's beauty of the efficient predator in the night. And then kind of right before the sun's about to rise, you get this, like, the hair on the back of your neck rises, and you just kind of get that feeling of being watched. So, but just kind of in your usual cool demeanor, Malthun style, you go through another couple sword stances that cause you to rotate about in 180 degrees. And you look out all the way to the horizon. And you can't shake that feeling. Something's watching you. And you kind of just keep turning in a circle until you realize that you walked around in a circle over and over and over and over again. At least 30, 40 times. You're starting to break out in a sweat. -1. from your. Yeah. And then as the sun starts to rise, you kind of blink and suddenly feel very tired, even though you got a full night's rest. And okay, that was weird. There's definitely something watching you. You're sure of it.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes time, I'll wake everyone up. Just everyone up. Everyone. And I'll kind of like, do our morning routine, but just kind of spread the word around. Everyone just act normal, go about your day, don't give any tips away, but something's watching us, and I don't know from where. Just eyes peeled. Watch the hills.
Alright, eyes on the hills.
Okay.
Yes. Watch the hills.
I shall meditate on this tonight as well.
All right, able to pack everyone up. Small, light, cold breakfast, but nourishing, and are able to push through to the farm. You arrive about midday, maybe a little later, and you kind of go through the same narrow pass between some trees and some higher raised elevation into this nice little open area that seems almost perfectly carved out for that farm.
Have we still made it in time for tomatoes?
Our tomatoes.
This is all of a sudden very important to me. I've been eating dried meat sticks for a very long time now.
Is the farm no longer there?
No, the farm's there.
Oh,
How's it looking? Like overgrown? Like it when we left?
Just like it did.
Yeah, you were only gone for what, like 3 days, 4 days, tops.
Yeah, but with what happened with the wagon, you can never
sure,
be sure
sure.
about
No.
time.
we could have
Okay,
been
that's
gone
fair.
20 years.
That's fair. No. You were relieved to see that the farm looks almost exactly the same as it did when you left it.
I assume I didn't want to pry too deeply, to be honest, but it seemed very personal in nature of what we were doing with this wagon. What happened?
Well, let's make sure our farming friend is all right, and then we'll go over libations or something.
Over tomatoes.
Yes.
Tomatoes.
Is there anything I should know about this farming friend? Other than
Don't
he
bury
has
anything
tomatoes.
that you don't want to be reminded of later.
Yeah,
That is
sound
good advice, so just all around, I think.
It's more sound advice here than you think. And don't kill any zombies you see.
Yes, that is also important.
That is a good tip, because I would have killed all of the zombies. I am not gonna lie. Not a fan of
Maybe
zombies.
you should just stay out here for a minute while I go in and talk to this old woman.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I don't know her. You guys do. If introductions are to be had, then lead on.
Yeah, Devok, stay with the cart. I'll be right back too. And Susa pulls out a knife and starts walking towards the grove where she saw the sheep last time.
I'm gonna do like a double. I'm gonna do a double. What?
Oh no!
A knife person zombie. Okay, this is a little over my head. I'm gonna stay with the
Yeah,
card.
you were
card right
rightfully very confused with what's going on.
Well, it'll
All right, then.
all be explained after we make sure our friend is all right.
And then Gar randomly reaches down and picks up a handful of dirt and sticks it into both of his boots.
Gotta top off.
Oh my gosh.
Is he a zombie?
Uh,
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm just
alright.
old.
I start to study Gar very intently.
Still Gar, but weird he's putting dirt in his shoes.
I go up to the front door and knock.
Okay. Bam, bam, bam. No response.
Ma'am, it's me. Hello?
Knock, knock, knock. Nothing.
No response.
I go around back to the flippy door.
And since you know it's there and how to access it, you're able to flip through, and there's a stillness in the house. Nothing moves. There's no sound. You walk through the house. You don't see Eugene. Don't see Hillary. Do you see a note on the table now?
Alright. I pick it up and read it.
Gar, if you followed through on your promise and you came back to see me, I appreciate that. You truly are a man of Madriel. Not long after you all left, I was visited by the crone of the steppes. She was able to put Eugene to rest. Finally. Completely. And with Eugene's afterlife secured, I then secured my own. I decided to walk back with the crone. Back into the arms of my lovely Eugene. Do not worry for me. I am happy. If you are reading this, that means you were also successful in the task you said you had set out to do. It seems those same people that you have hopefully dealt with, their ritual was responsible for corrupting Eugene's rest. One mystery solved. Blessings of the divine upon you. Hillary.
Gar takes the note and sticks it into his pocket. Takes the dirt and dumps it out when he walks out because realizing that it's corrupt dirt, he no longer wants it. But Gar then just somberly walks out, tells everyone, well, it turns out we've got the run of the place. She has decided to take the old crone of the steps help, and she and Eugene have passed on.
I don't...
It means that she is never going to come back.
I'm aware of what it means. I just... I don't know.
Hopefully they have. Sounds like they needed to find some modicum of peace. Hopefully they found
it. Which also makes my character suddenly think back to the experiment, and he kind of runs back inside to check on the spider.
Which you had killed, right?
I had crushed and put in dirt underneath a cup so that it wouldn't be able to get up, a glass.
You dig through the dirt where you had left the spider, and you see that like its body has been eaten. Some ants have come and cut it up and transported it back to wherever their anthill is.
Now it's dead dirt.
Hmm.
Guess it doesn't work anymore.
I'm curious, since Gar has now informed us, what do we know about the crone of this area?
The crone of the steppes? It is a common disguise and persona that Bellsmith uses.
Which is the one that we got.
The old
Yeah.
hag
Yeah,
that I
yeah, yeah.
hate.
I question this series of events.
It's probably right about this time where Susa comes back, shoving something into her satchel, putting her blade back on her hilt. She says, "What happened?"
Satchel a little damp.
She can see that everyone's looking, and she just goes, "What? I just needed some wool." She puts it back.
I'm going to go inside.
Are these tomatoes still good to eat, or?
I mean, looking out at the fields. The fields are still, like...
Yeah, the fields are still the same.
Yeah. I kind of just glance. Help yourself.
I don't know. I don't know if I should feel right about this.
It's the section with the vines, right over there.
I know what tomatoes are. Yes. I'm wondering if I am being disrespectful to the person who was here.
She offered us many items to eat. A few. Be respectful in the amount you eat. I'm not sure of your appetites, but
Not only that, I'm sure she wouldn't want her hard work to go to waste. She loved this garden.
Now, again, I question this. I would like to go inside, and I ask her, may I see the letter? Do you mind?
At least you're not gonna ruin it.
I have no intentions of harming or destroying this letter.
Real quick, while they're inside, I would like to just kind of go outside and pick some of the ripe veggies and prune some of the weeds and make sure that it's kept up a little bit. Just help out a little bit here and there.
Nice.
It was already really well tended, so like any work you have to do maintenance-wise is quite little. But yeah, you are able to kind of get a couple weeds that are there. You spray them with a little water using your cantrips, and yeah, you're able to harvest. And the fruit and vegetables you do harvest they're very full. They're very ripe. They're very delicious. Okay, Gar hands you the letter one more time.
Yes. So I want to read it over, less about the content, and I want to look at the writing, and I would like to use my investigation. And I'm looking for any inconsistencies in the words that she used from when we talked to her. And then also, can I find anything else that she may have written, like recipes, an old, just any random thing she would have written, and check the handwriting against it as well. Not necessarily that it's someone different, because I assume she was probably like brainified if this was like done against her will, but to see if it's like distressed writing or anything like that. So,
Give me an investigation check.
Investigation. Here we go.
Seven.
Reroll if you really want.
Well, I have
Advantage.
I have one.
Do you have
I have a vote.
Okay.
Is that gonna give
And
me?
you do all have a DM inspiration as well.
I do.
From
So
end of
can
last
I
session.
roll with advantage
You may.
for the vote?
Yes, for the vote.
Haha.
Well,
That is unfortunate. That's not even worth using the inspiration on. Too low. I rolled a 7 and a 9 total. So,
okay.
oh well.
So with your 9, you are able to, you are able to find a couple extra parchments of paper where it looks like she was keeping track of harvests, just make sure, to calculate, see if they have enough to make it through bad weather times and things like that. The handwriting is definitely the same. It was definitely her hand that wrote that final note. But it doesn't seem like she really kept any anything that really had any substance to it. Like there was no essays, there's no journals, there's no like personal entries. So you're comparing this note, this very personal note, to like we had 3 cans of cucumbers and 10 pounds of tomatoes. Like it's very hard to compare the two to one another.
Gotcha.
But you weren't able to really kind of see if there's a distressed meaning behind her writing. The kind of like the wording and things like that does match her speech, like from when she talked to all of you. So there's that at least.
Okay. Okay. And all right. Well, checks out. Seems good. I'll help myself to some tomatoes.
Whenever.
Tomatoes.
Gar's gonna go and look for ingredients primarily used for a certain type of brewing.
Oh, you're gonna see if there's any
Barley
hops
and
and,
such.
hops and barley.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You go out and look as a brewer, you know exactly what you're looking for. There is some wheat that she was growing that you could use. And then there is an orange tree. You could use the orange peel in a recipe perhaps, but definitely not any hops or barley. And you would need to figure out what you would use for malt and sugar. So definitely a few key ingredients down, but...
Okay. Hey, it's part of my batch.
So when, after a couple hours pass, I'm going to put some of the veggies, some of the less ripe ones over on the table. Just kind of set them aside. And then I'm going to reach down to the ground and just kind of grab a rock, and I'm going to keep pulling as I use stone shape just to make a small knife, and I'm going to start chopping up the more ripe veggies, and just start making a decent enough lunch for everyone.
Well, you see your new companion kind of just like reach into the ground and pick up what looked like just like a small pebble, and then it's just one's he pulls out one, it's a fork, and he pulls out one, it's a knife, and he just starts chopping.
Fragrant salad.
After my investigation, I want to kind of walk around the rest of the house and the property. Did you keep any other, like, more localized gardens? They have the farm, they've got the vegetable garden. Is there anything else?
Well, you did know that she was a practitioner of magic, and being out here, she would definitely need to know common ways of treating any minor injury that might have happened while out in the blood steps, which is definitely a thing that would happen. So yes, there is a small flower herb garden she kept. And it looks to be several of them look to be alchemical in nature ingredients.
I would like to take the opportunity to pick several of those.
Now, would you like to pick blindly, or is there a skill you'd like to try to use in order to pick things that look, maybe to make sure you're not picking the herbs she used to make, like rat poison?
Sure. Did she keep a book at all?
She did not keep a book, no. It seems that, and you look at this garden, and it's not like there's like 20 different varieties of things here. It's 4 or 5 different plants. So of those things, she would know exactly what to grow, how to grow it, and
Got it.
and be able to identify what they are.
I'm pretty good in nature.
So I would like to roll a nature.
Okay.
Not
Yeah, you can either roll. You can roll a nature check. You can roll an alchemy tools check, or I'd even let you roll a poisoner's tools check.
It's gonna be nature.
All right, nature it is.
Real quick, can I do a quick look around, maybe for some vinaigrette, some vinegar?
Not quite that. No, there would not be that in this house.
Damn.
18 nature check.
Yes.
Not bad. So you look at these plants.
You know what? I'm gonna go for broke. I want it higher.
Oh, you're gonna use the DM inspiration?
Chance for this. DM
Okay.
inspiration.
All right, add the d6. 1 for a 19, but still, it's 19, so that's pretty good. Pretty
One
good.
to 20.
Yes, I know you did, but tough titties.
Give me the 20. I want the 20. Right.
Yes, we all want things.
Okay.
So you look through her little smaller garden here, and where is it? Here we go. You find what looks to be the most common thing she would use. It's the largest crop of it. It's chamomile. It has you identify that has this branch stem, just a couple leaves, and some flower heads that have these yellow centers, which are domed in shape and have a hollow cavity at the very center. You know that you can pick these, and they'll actually keep effective for a couple months, actually.
Okay.
If you dry them correctly, and you know that you basically make tea with it, and that drinking the tea has a calming effect, and will actually aid in sleeping. So essentially, kind of mechanically, you can harvest these leaves, dry them. They stay good dried for like years.
Yeah.
And when you take a long rest, you only need half the time. Cool. So for an elf meditate, you really need like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'll pick some of those.
Alrighty.
I don't know what the rest do.
I mean, that rolls enough to kind of veer away from the ones that don't really have an effect.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll pick that. I'll pick the chamomile then.
Okay. Yeah. So they either have like no effect or like one of those like wives' tale like, oh, this will make you feel better kind of thing, but they don't really do anything.
Got it.
You also steered away from the foxglove, which is used as a small rodent animal poison. So, good job. You didn't poison yourself. Congratulations.
I mean,
that was weird.
Yes. What do you? I would like you both
that
to
was
answer
weird.
at the same time. What do you mean?
I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
Well, you see what happened.
Please, hive mind. Tell me, what do you mean?
Oh god.
So you're able to pick your chamomile leaves.
The foxglove could come in handy if you wanted to serve a tea that gets rid of enemies.
It's true.
It is
I
true.
can seal
But
off
it wouldn't really.
some.
It wouldn't. The poison of a foxglove isn't enough to like. You would need to serve foxglove tea to someone like every day for a couple months for it to finally like kill them. This isn't like a poison where it's like you take it and it's like you're dead 3 hours later.
There are better poisons.
Oh, thank you, Malthun, for this tea. Why are you being nice to me?
Every day for the past 3 months. Wow.
Wait.
But yeah, so you harvest your
Patty, when's the
camel.
last time you watched Psych season 1?
Yes, that's exactly where I'm taking it from.
Okay,
Steven.
okay.
Thanks
I
for
see.
ruining that.
No.
Thanks for ruining that.
No,
No,
I
that's
got
fine.
you.
No,
I got
no, that's
you.
good.
I
No, yeah,
got
just blab where I get my DM secrets from. That's fine. Yes, so you harvest your camel leaves. You're able to have a small meal, and then is there anything else you would like to do while you're at Hillary and Eugene's farm?
Any produce, anything I can find, like if they have drying racks and stuff like that, I'd just like to leave whatever's not feasible to carry with me there to dry for the next person to come along. Just try and leave it a little bit better than I found it.
Yeah, very easily enough done.
Actually, before we leave, Susa will check out Eugene's grave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna go to the gravesite too and actually see about just making another headstone for Hillary.
Okay. The dirt that was to the side of that grave has been filled in. Yeah, if you'd like to make a headstone for Hillary, you could.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I can do that in an hour.
Thank
Not
you.
even.
because
Like, you could... I think with
I was
just with
gonna say we could
finding
just
things
have to
laying
do
around
rock.
and... Yeah, we'll just
Yeah,
with things
dead
laying
rock.
around and art and tinkerer's tools, you can make a headstone in 10, 15
Well,
minutes.
And I
he
could.
has stone shape, so
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make works of art. That makes like form functional things. If you wanted to make it a very nice headstone, it would require a little bit of time.
Yeah, like I say, give me an hour, I can make some masonry tools and
Yeah, we can go to town.
I'll give Susa the hour.
Okay.
And if you do
Yep.
ask, or if you do need help, I will come by and stuff. And just cheerlead. I'll be your biggest cheerleader.
All right. So you're able to make the headstone. What would you like for it to read?
was this one for Eugene or for
This one's for Hillary.
Yeah, Eugene already had one.
Did you have a
Uh,
stone one or a wooden one?
Yeah, a
Stone.
Okay.
I'm just looking to see what it said because it was Eugene, loving husband and father.
So we'll put here lies Hillary, loving
Well,
wife,
she
and
doesn't lie there though. Neither of them do.
she does in spirit.
Loving wife who took the road with her husband, Eugene.
In memory.
There you go. In
Very
memory
nice.
of Hillary, yes.
Who
Awesome.
took the long road with her husband, Eugene.
All right. Simple enough. Then you're able to position it next to Eugene's. Devok, you are able to leave some stores so that if someone were to stumble across this place, there would be some food for them. And you all kind of pack the ex-prisoners back up and start making your way back to Elysium with Yene leading the way. And then thanks to Ram Squatter in chat, that's where you're going to get this awesome break send-off. It be time for a break, me lasses and laddies. The winds are temperate, so therefore we shall rest our sails and rest our voices. As we go off to break, we'll be back in 10 mere minutes at 10:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So stay tuned, stay the course, and batten down your hatches. Welcome back, wonderful viewers, to the land of Skarn in our Scarred Lands adventure, where our players have just finished visiting the farm of Hillary and realizing that she has decided to join her husband into the afterlife. They were able to leave a nice little monument for her, and then as well as leave her homestead better than when they found it. Perhaps if a weary traveler were to stumble across it, give them a fighting chance of recuperating and getting out of the blood steps safely. But now it is time for Yane to lead the group back to Elysian into New Veneer. So, you continue traveling along until you get to a more familiar area. The blood steps now successfully behind you as you cross the border into official New Veneer territory. And it will not be much longer until you are able to get back to Elysian. As you're traveling, Yane and Gar, separately and secretly, you both take time away from the group to check in on your little friends that you had adopted on the road. They both have gotten bigger, self-sufficient, but definitely view as their owner and or mother / father. So these things have definitely imprinted and bonded onto you, and you are able to confidently say that these are rats. So I made some rolls, some percentile rolls, and you both got pretty lucky on that. So they are not flesh strippers; they are indeed rats.
Was that lucky though? Yeah. Lucky would have been the flesh stripper.
Would it though? Because then that's when you wake up and like your arm is missing.
Various forms of luck.
They've both kind of gotten significantly bigger very quickly, but they are safe pets. You travel for another, I believe it was only 2 days from the farm to get to Elysian, and on evening of the second day, you're able to spot the city wall, and right as nightfall comes, you're able to get to the city, and you kind of stop the wagons short of the walls. Everyone files out. There's a brief exchange with the guards, but they kind of see the state these people are in. They recognize the five of you. You're all successfully, without too much hassle, let into the city. So, the refugees take their time to thank you profusely over and over again, stating, if there's ever anything you need, and they list various cities throughout the hegemony. They list, different tribes of nomadic peoples. If you ever need anything, just let us know. We can't thank you enough. You saved us from a fate worse than death. And they kind of go about their own ways, either trying to find a bar to drink away the horrible memories, or somewhere to stay, or to confirm booking passage to get back to where they were taken from. So now it is just the five of you and your piece of Mormo.
Gar.
What? Don't tell me you want me to take that thing back to the winch.
No. I was curious if you would know any particular place where this might be handled more discreetly. Is there one of your establishments nearby that you would trust this to go to?
In this city? Oh. Mr. DM, sir, is there a place that Gar would consider trustworthy in this city?
I am enjoying Malthune calling a temple and or church an establishment. But yes, so this is kind of the choice that the unwritten, unsaid choice that your group has to face here. Mm-hmm. You can go back to the Temple of Belsmith, and give it back to Belsmith as you were instructed to, or Gar, there is a temple of Madriel in this city.
Ooh. Yeah, can we retcon that we maybe had this conversation before standing 5 feet inside the gates of the town? Like,
we
Sure,
were talking
yeah,
about this
yeah.
on the way back home.
okay,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So there is the temple of Belsmith that you visited. You met Belsmith, and were instructed to bring it back there. There also is a temple of Madriel in this city. Now, it is not one of the main temples of Madriel, especially Elysium being the city that it is. So it would just be, this would be a temporary storage place where it would need to travel to a holier city, one that has a larger temple, a more devout temple, a more secure temple of Madriel.
You know what? I just thought it through. I just thought, actually, as I think through this particular process, I have to imagine that while Balsameth is more outright evil, they're sisters, right?
Yes, they are
Yeah.
twin sisters.
Twins.
More outright evil than her sister. She also would be the one most likely to outright destroy as much of this, or at least weaken this piece of Mormo as much as possible. She wouldn't allow any threat to her power to remain even remotely accessible.
Yes, as I understand it, they are night and day to one another, and Belsmith does not particularly care for her sister, more or less, which is why she would have sent you on here to seek and destroy this piece. However, these Titan fragments, even from a god's perspective, traditionally have not been able to be destroyed. Just waylaid.
What if we gave half to Madriel and half to Belsmith?
You're saying that we open this thing up and split it into pieces.
Inside of a city.
I honestly don't know, even if we wanted to, if it's possible. The Divine had to kill the Titans. I mean, yes, we helped, but in the end, the Divine, and they weren't even possible in killing them, they imprisoned them more or less. And I don't think we as mortals have the power to split apart something of this nature, even if it is quote unquote corrupted by the Divine.
However, I do have to agree with Lamalthun that even though Balsamith is evil in most senses, she wouldn't want anything challenging her power, thus would want to get rid of said artifact.
DM question.
Yeah.
Would my character have an approximate knowledge of how many pieces of Mormo,
No one would. There's no definite number on how many pieces. It's not like, she was perfectly cut up. Mormo was perfectly cut up into 200 pieces.
Well, no, I mean, would my character be in knowledge of if Belsameth already had a whole bunch of pieces, or if Madriel was typically the one that they had given Mormo pieces to, or if it was just any god or goddess that they would bring them to?
Yeah, it's hard, depending on who finds it, is, what their decision process is going to be on who they give it to. Some mortals keep it for themselves that are evil and attempt to gain power from it. Some would, some give it to Corian, some would give it to Madriel, some would give it to Belsmith. It's really just kind of a wash, and it's really just dependent on who finds it.
Allow me to finish this particular train of thought, because I think that if you see where the end of this envoy goes, it'll help you make your decision. We take the piece back to the one who gave us the quest. They take it, do what it is they will with it, which we will trust most likely is of a selfish and evil nature, meaning they will corrupt it as much as they possibly can. Beneficial to us, as one less piece of Mormo could possibly be uncorrupted. Win-win for us. The other option, we take it back to Madriel. The Madriel people at that establishment say, "Oh, we don't have the power to do this here. It must be taken to a more secure location. But we can't possibly leave this place. You'll have to do it for us." We are then tasked with going to another city, finding another temple, all now while Baphomet?
Elsmith.
Belsmith. Sorry,
Belsmith.
still learning these names. Sorry.
Okay.
It,
All
it
the while,
works for your character.
all the while, Belsmith. I actually have a really high religion because I hate them, so I have to know them. All the while, Belsmith now actively is hunting us for betraying her, which I'm fine with, but it is one more disadvantage for ourselves. So do we take on the good quest of this peace, the whole while pissing off a god? Or do we be gone with this piece of Mormo?
For what it's worth, I think your intuition is correct. I do not. As Madriel, as the Church of Madriel is strong, I think giving it directly to a god who does not care for her sister, and would as soon see it destroyed as anyone else, or at the destroyed at the best, at the worst corrupted. I think is a intelligent decision.
After all of this, Gar plans on asking through prayer for divine guidance from Madriel herself and see if we get an actual.
Ooh.
Because
Hey.
at worst, in my mind, Madriel now knows that her sister might be gaining a piece of Mormo. At best, we might get Madriel to come down, take it away from us, and have a goddess that we like better take it away, and then say, "And I'll get my sister off your backs." So,
I don't like either of them.
Okay, so
I mean,
sounds like there needs to be another group vote here.
I mean, I have mostly neutral feelings towards most of the gods, but Adriel did get me captured. I'm still wondering if that was by design.
well, you did need us.
Yes, of course. Madriel had you captured and enslaved for weeks at a time just so you could meet us.
Well, when you put it that way, it sounds pretty bad.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not.
Quite interesting.
Apologies. So,
just to clarify, I would like for me to clarify, because I have a dumb brain apparently. Are you being sarcastic or are you not? Do you think that Madriel actually had this planned or no? Because she did give me a premonition. I would say I'm leaning towards planned.
then I leave it to your intuition and then your ultimate judgment of that plan.
Actually, that is a good topic. You said that Madriel gave you a vision that you needed to help us. Help us do what? Help us bring the peace to her?
As far as I can tell, in that exact moment, help you not die at that precise moment. Now, whether
she had that backwards.
more than a little bit, I think. The better question is what did she want done with it? I mean, I am not a follower of Madriel. I cannot commune with her. I cannot speak with her, talk with her. not a follower of any particular god. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be honest. And if her plan was to have me trapped, have me captured, and then meet up with you all, which it seems more than likely, she knew I was going into dangerous territory at best and captured at worst. And either look is not great. And this is why I'm not too hardy a fan of the gods, because we are pawns to them, for more or less.
Perhaps if Madriel sent you, she already knew about Belsmith's plan. I mean, they are sisters, and while they hate each other, siblings in general tend to always find out what the other is doing.
Twins.
Ah, yes. I don't want to anger Belsmith. I know that much. I may not be very happy with her having the pieces of Mormo, but the points made of her not wanting competition and the points of possibly making her angry at us for the rest of our possibly short-lived lives if we piss her off. I would really, I think the previous agreement sounds best.
She does seem more active than your typical god in the goings-on, and specifically more active in our endeavor here. I think, for me, the decision would come down to what is the worst possible. If we give it to her, to Madria, or to Belsmith, what does she do with it?
What does
Belsmith do? What could she do with it? Is this something she has to destroy? Can she even use this fragment? Was it just making sure that her sister did not resurrect, so that she was not challenged? Or can she, which would be the worst case, use it to become more powerful?
Well, the piece of Mormo is her mother.
Oh, excuse me, her mother.
Yes, the Titan.
So the question is, do I try and contact Madriel or not?
Do it. It can't hurt.
And let her know that we don't really have a choice in the matter because of how it came about.
And let us also consider, very briefly, that no matter what choice we make here, whether it be Madriel or Belsmith, one will at very least be unhappy.
An unhappy god. Oh, whatever. How is that different from the norm?
Mouth out.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Well,
it did almost, from what I understand, almost kill Gar.
An unhappy god might mean an unhappy everything in civilization.
Well, then allow me to ask you this question. For your own self-preservation, would you prefer an unhappy evil god or an unhappy benevolent god?
Unhappy benevolent. Because I don't think Madriel would go out of the way to curse us. Just be very, very disappointed.
Benevolence is a strong word for the gods.
Perhaps you missed my rising tone when saying benevolent?
If we think of this in the terms of fairness, technically Madriel already has one piece of Mormo. So what would it hurt to give Belsmith one?
do we know does Belsmith not already have one as well? Or many?
No matter what, Madriel still has one, so she could never fully resurrect Mormo, even if she did go that route. Plus, I really don't see the point of trying to resurrect, even if it was for power, your mother who tried to kill you.
Yeah, I don't think either. I think that is a good point. I don't think either one wants resurrection, but I don't think either one of them would say no to more power. And I think that's what this fragment represents.
I say we let Gar use his particular skills in this matter. Perhaps he can give us more insight into what one side believes, at which point then we'll take a vote, and I vote to give it to the one who gave us the
Belsmith.
Belsmith.
So,
I'm literally pulling up the names right now because I cannot remember them tonight.
So question real quick. Gar.
Yes.
So you have a particular set of skills.
Oh,
Not talking about the Idra worshipper ones.
Oh, okay. All right. So, no, that's fair. I just
Oh, wait, sorry.
I
You
was
don't
just
even know
curious.
you don't even know what I'm talking about there. Sorry, force of habit.
Understandable. We'll talk about it sometime else. Now I am curious.
But
Maybe
I
after an
continue
ale
with
or
my
4.
goddess.
5 maybe? 4? 5?
The goddess he's talking about is the goddess of, well, procreation, pleasure, stuff like that.
Technically, culture, health, secrets, and sexuality as a whole.
Is that...
I retcon, and Yanae has said all the things that the DM has said.
Yeah.
Sounds like a party.
Okay, so Gar, you're going to attempt to contact Madriel. Would you just like to do it like in the street, or you want to go to the temple of Madriel? You want to go to your room?
Well, we had said we were doing this all prior to arriving, so I was figuring we would just do it while going down the street while still in
Oh,
room.
so you're gonna like hop in the back of the wagon and pray?
No, like take a 10-minute pit stop.
Oh,
Somewhere
okay.
where it was a lush field, somewhere where there's a lot of bountiful life, or at least more life than elsewhere in the area we are at.
We're in Skarn, Gar. We're in Skarn.
Yeah, it's Skarn.
You are able to stop along the way, and there's an open field, and you can kind of kneel down, hold out your hands, close your eyes, and start to regulate your breathing. In, out. You see, it's silly to a lot of you, but then all of a sudden, almost like a spotlight, a sunbeam is on Gar. And Gar, breathe in, out. It's starting to get warmer. It feels as if, the sun is directly overhead and is shining straight down on you. In, out. Beads of sweat start to roll down your neck. You ignore it. In, out. You feel the sky overhead, any clouds that were there, part. And it's a perfectly blue sky now. And these clouds move rapidly, faster than an approaching storm would move clouds. In, out. A prickling sensation goes up your spine, and it feels kind of like if a thorn was just kind of being traced up each vertebrae. Not harshly, not like it hurts, just that sensation of something you know is sharp and something that could dig into if you wanted to. But it just goes up your spine lightly. In. On your out, it reaches your neck. And you see Gar suddenly throw forward his chest, arc his neck back a little bit. The sunlight intensifies. Gar, you're now openly sweating as the sun is focusing on you. And you know that Madriel is listening.
Redeemer, Madriel, we seek your guidance. Through your sister, we have been given a quest, and we have found a piece of Mormo. We wish to know through your guidance, should we give the quest or give her that piece as requested, or shall we give it to you in hopes that you might eradicate it or keep it beholden from others?
You finish your speech, your prayer, your request. In, out. Swimming before your eyes with your eyes still closed, the colors you see when your eyes are closed, and even sometimes the brief after images of what you saw before you closed your eyes start to flash multicolored and then take shape before you. It's kind of this weird black on black imagery that you have to really just focus your mind on to make any sense of and to discern any actual shapes. You see yourself going into town. The town is all the buildings burned down, broken, demolished, as if something came through, swept through here and destroyed them all. You see, and you turn around, and you see yourself walking out of the Temple of Madriel. And then the black on black shifts, rearranges, and you see the same city, Elysian, this time the same, no damage, the way it usually looks. And you see yourself walking towards the Temple of Belsmith. In, out, you posture rightens, you open your eyes, the sun has stopped focusing on you, the clouds form back, making it more of a bit of an overcast sky, and your direct link is severed.
Okay, guys, Belsmith, definitely Belsmith. Oh, she is a cranky old wench when you don't do what she wants.
Seems very definite.
Yeah.
Elaborate?
Okay. Let's just go with everything burned to the ground. Scorched earth. She will not be a happy hag.
Was she ever a happy hag, though? These are the real questions.
You can ask her in person. Okay. I need to sit down. Oh, God, that was hot.
You not only are you sweating from the heat of that, but you feel like you just ran a couple miles. Like you feel like you physically exerted yourself there.
I need a beer. Alright. You fixed that saddle for Brillo yet? Because if not, I need a minute. I'll take your silence as a no.
Are you talking to me?
Sorry, I had my don't talk thing on.
Ah, yes.
Do we
the
need-
don't talk thing.
My don't talk thing.
Do we
You just
need
see the
to
mechanical
vote?
sheep going around in circles. You can't hear a thing.
No, the saddle is not done yet, but you can hop in the back of the wagon.
Pansy. No,
I'm not going to kick out one of the injured. I just need something to drink before we go.
I mean, if you really want, if you really need it, I can carry you. It's not a big deal.
Yes,
No.
Gar, do you need to be carried?
Yeah, no, I'll just walk my old bones. I'll be fine.
Oh, are you sure? I've heard it is a wonderful. It's just like a
No,
pillow
I do
back
not
there.
want to experience riding you.
I mean, it's always an option. Okay.
You know,
The invite's always open.
I don't get it. The Malthun and I are way older than you, and we're not having these problems.
Okay, you guys live hundreds of years. If I live 100 of years, I am extremely old.
But you're so young while being so old.
Okay,
I mean,
so, there's something you need to learn about races and how we age. Like, some of us live to 50 and we're old. Some of us live to 500 and we're spring chickens. My
yeah,
race is old at 50.
as is mine. We usually, our elders are usually 50 years old. I am considered a adult at 20.
I don't like this.
Which means that you can be a child for the next 100 years and I'll be dead.
This leads to their rash nature in life, and the humans and the orcs' desire for quick expansions and
Whoa.
experiences.
Well,
This is
finally
this
had
is
a
not a
quarter-
negative. This is not, and to my two friends, this is not by no means a negative observation. You
It just means that
experience
we
life
get
quicker.
stuff done quicker than you because you have 100 years to figure out where you want to build a bridge.
Correct.
It wouldn't take that long to figure out a bridge.
No, 25 years at the most.
You
Exactly.
guys are absolutely
Okay.
awful.
So have we decided what we're doing?
25 years for
To
a bridge?
Bellsmith,
To Bellsmith.
The old hag.
so we don't get murdered.
I would prefer not to spend 25 years on this particular vote, so I believe we have 3 votes Bellsmith, and the vote carries.
Now I'm just wondering, like, does he think that the humans and the orcs are constantly at war with each other? Like,
Oh no, not at all. The humans go to war with humans. I know that much.
That is true. In this part of the world, you haven't seen in a while since the hegemony was formed. But yes, that is true in this part of the world.
Ar's just going to look at Yune after they make that comment and shake their head.
See?
Sadly, you're right.
Confirmed by a human.
yeah, I understand what it is. What it is like to be viewed this way. I am sorry for what it is worth. I don't think you're an angry person at all, Gar.
Gar drinks too much to be angry.
Are you telling me I have a problem?
Yes, you don't have a beer.
Thank you. Let's go to town.
Hell yeah.
Oh god. Out of character, that was a good one, John.
Okay.
Right. So I'll start sniffing out for sausages.
No need to do that. You know where the Temple of Belsmith is located in the city.
Okay.
I'm with Sousa on this one. We should be sniffing for sausages and beer just anyway, just in case.
Sure. Yeah, you pass a couple street vendors where you're like, oh yeah, totally hitting them up when we get out of here.
Oh man, I really want sausage now with like sauerkraut.
What is the delicacy here in this city? I would like to try it.
Well, until about a week ago, it was my dwarven ale.
Oh, you had a shop here.
No.
No, he just brewed a batch of ale.
More of a hobby.
More of.
Currently a hobby.
Do you have any more stored away?
If I had more stored away, you think I'd be sober right now?
Depending on how much you could carry. I think that's the question, the answer there.
Okay, so do you guys make any pit stops before you're heading to the Temple of Belsmith?
Oh, I definitely hit up the sausage stands. He's gonna get the biggest, fattest wiener he can find.
Dwayne, your sound was on.
I know.
All right.
And as he's walking up to the temple, he's just gonna be chewing on it.
Okay. Able to enter the temple, and as you walk in, you're kind of built up this image of who Belsmith is, this dual-natured, beautiful woman and ugly hag, this kind of evil moonlight goddess, but someone of evil and darkness. But as you walk into the temple, it's actually surprisingly bright. While it is dark in the corners, in the main, as soon as you walk in, is a large area, and shining down into the middle of it is a artificial moon that generates a large moonbeam in the middle of the temple, which in turn generates quite a bit of light. Carved into all the walls are gruesome, accurate, and quite lifelike depictions of lycanthropes undergoing transformation. As in limbs elongating, skin peeling back, claws coming out of hands, necks and mouths unnaturally forming, teeth shooting through mouths. If it's that striking difference of this is amazing art, but it is gruesome and horrid to look at. The acolytes that are in here all wear darker blackish and purple embossed robes. And you are immediately met by a couple of them as you walk in. Yes, and what can the Moonlight Goddess do for you today?
Well,
We are here on official business from the goddess herself.
He sees you with your symbol of Madriel. Unlikely. I believe you made a wrong turn somewhere.
Would
Gar.
I walk into this place with...
I don't know. Usually you're so drunk you don't even know where you're going.
I do the head turn back and forth, and I lean in. Pieces of Mormo.
He keeps his look of disgust, but his eyes kind of widen a little bit.
If I were not on official business from the goddess herself.
Looks at the rest of all of you. Do you have it with you?
I make a ushering motion for whoever is holding it at the moment to bring it forward.
I think that was Lamalthun. If not, we could have put it in my bag of holding.
I don't remember specifically taking it. I know I looked at it a little bit to try to investigate it, but
Yeah, I assume you guys had it in the wagon and no one person was like carrying it for your week trip out of the steps.
Didn't we grab a cloth so that none of us had direct contact with it, and then we shoved it in a bag?
Yeah,
So,
and it was in a box.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a chest almost thing. So
Oh yeah, it was like a small kind of I got it. No, I wouldn't have thought to specifically have it, so it can be with me or whoever.
okay, so we'll just say Lamalfian was carrying it into the
That's
temple.
fine. Yeah. Hey,
Okay.
I got it.
You show it to the acolyte. Very well. It seems that the Twilight Goddess blessed you on your mission. Please follow me. Follow me into the back of the temple.
If it's all the same, can we just give it to you and go? We're not looking to get roped into some series of tasks.
It is not for me to disobey the Moonlit Goddess.
Disobey her? You didn't even know why we came here.
I knew that a group had been sent to retrieve an item, and that now that you have presented it and identified yourselves, you must be that group.
I don't like this guy.
Why are people so quick to give up their own decision making? Why do people desire orders?
He just ignores you and he leads you further into the temple. As you pass the giant moonbeam,
You take 3d6 damage.
no.
And now you have and now you are a lycanthrope.
No, it is not the spell moonbeam. You pass several benches that all face towards a central altar. The altar itself seems to have some dried blood on it.
Oh.
Yes. Not sure from what. It's not necessarily human, but there is blood on it nonetheless. And then you were led in behind kind of like where the sacristan of a Catholic church would be. You were led back there. Here, the carvings into the walls show various forms of madness. They show people, just very carved, intricately detailed, people pulling out their hair or, scratching out their skin, plucking out their eyes, just various forms of insanity. And then you are led to a dark obsidian door that has crisscrossing chains on it that he unlocks. Twilight Goddess waits for you.
Charming place.
I want to walk up to him, not threateningly,
Sure.
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
By all means.
How did you end up here?
I chose to come here.
This was a decision you made.
Correct.
I look around.
Forgive Malathun because he knows.
He just blankly stares back like he doesn't get it.
Forgive him for he knows exactly what he doesn't say.
Alright, let's get this over with. I don't really want to be in this pit any longer than we have to be.
Fair. Thank you for your time.
I'll be waiting here to walk you all out.
Fun times. You guys are a gas.
Walk into the doors. Through the doors.
You all walk in through the door, and it is very much the room where you met Bellsmith the first time. It is a nice, large oaken table. There is lots of food on it, lots of drink. and once you were all situated and seated at it, coming out from the shadows is the same large, buxom, beautiful woman that lured you into the temple the first time.
Gar immediately starts taking the wine or the alcohol and putting it into his water skins.
Okay. Oh, Gar. Still have our little problem, I see.
It's never been a problem.
You keep telling yourself that. Well, did I choose the right group? Where is it?
I think you know the answer to that.
Just wanted to make sure that you're not coming here with bad news.
Well,
Please,
we're
produce the
giving you
piece.
Bits of Mormo, so I mean, is there real good news to be given with this?
I put the chest on the table.
She kind of has this hungry look in her eye as she walks towards it. Yes. And she touches it, and as soon as she touches it, it kind of pulses with this grayish, silverish light, similar to moonlight. And it kind of extends out from her fingers where she touches it, and slowly enraptures the entire chest. The entire chest now is this kind of silverish color. She picks it up. She opens the lid. She stares within, a slight smile crosses her face, and she slams the lid shut. Excellent. This will be dealt with appropriately.
What do you plan on doing with it?
I'll answer that one. It is not for us to know.
No, you went and got it for me. You deserve an answer. I do not try to live life in mystery. I'm not like Madriel, where I will give you cryptic visions. She looks at you.
You got
Devote,
me there.
and then looks at Gar. That's not how I operate. Susa,
It wasn't very cryptic.
wasn't it? You interpret whatever meanings you want with your mind. Susa, I will take this piece back to my domain, where it will stay, where it will be unreachable by any mortal or any other god. And that way Mormo can never truly be reunited, at least to her full power.
I can
But
appreciate.
you thought for some reason I would try and taint myself with that of a Titan?
I can appreciate the honesty.
To be honest, who really knows?
I was thinking more you were going to drop it in one of your enemy's territories.
That's not how I operate. I can't risk another group of mortals who think that the Titans should come back getting their hands on this again, and then I have to send another group of mortals to go and get it from those mortals. It gets very tiresome. No. This is my piece to do with what I will, and that is to hide it away from the world. You forget, I understand you view me as your simple concept of evil, but I did fight to destroy the Titans. And that we can at least agree was the right thing to do.
Good thing in a lifetime.
I second this, and I appreciate the forthrightness, but and I apologize for the assumption.
And I am also one to keep my word. I told you I would assist you in your investigation, and so I will.
Oh yeah.
It's not pure coincidence I sent you to his cultists just to get that piece. I believe one of you came across a journal, yes, of their previous leader. The one that was stricken with a strange affliction and then chased out.
Yes.
Well, that person has made their way to Elysium. And that person has pulled and weaved a complicated web of violence and deceit. They are based below the city. Ask your captain of the guard about the sewers. There you will find your last cultist, your murderer, and perhaps several other answers you have been looking for.
Well, I guess that's a job well done.
It's as good as it's going to get from me, at least.
Again,
Now-
I suppose we should be grateful.
Yes, you should, Gar. Remember this next time you want to take my name in vain. Now, you and the shaman and Susa, lovely Susa, please leave. I want to talk to my two elven friends.
Susa
Will
is
they
very,
be coming
very
out
wary.
alive and in?
If I wanted them
Of
dead,
themselves.
do you think I would bring them to my temple like this?
I don't know.
No, we'd have died on our
that sort
trip.
of thing.
if she wanted them,
Gar,
dead,
what am I the goddess of? Murder? Do you not think I have 100 assassins at my call I could send to murder these two?
I don't know what a goddess of murder wants to do when they kill people.
Well,
Yes, and that tiny little understanding of yours is why you'll forever be a devout little follower of Madriel. Now, please, go find some sunshine to bask in.
before they leave, I understand. You can't have enjoyment of life if there's no death. You can't have the light of the moon at night without the sun. As much as we're more creatures of the day, there still has to be someone who balances it out with night.
She just stares at you, Gar.
Whatever you say.
Reluctantly, Susa will leave, but before she leaves, she will place the desiccated body of a robin on the table and then walk out.
Okay.
She had,
The
it in
other-
her, she had it in her bag.
Sure. The other two of you that were dismissed, do you leave as well?
I leave.
yes, she has not given any reason not to provide a modicum of trust,
Okay.
vicious though she may be.
First, she walks over to you, Lamalthun, and she places down a book in front of you. It is a simple black leather-bound book, and you open it. Has no title. You flip past the first page; it's completely blank, and it just starts a list. What you start to slowly recognize are plant names and descriptions of these plants. I think you'll find this useful, although I think I forgot to write down the effects of these. Oh well.
Slam.
Hell yeah! Oh, I'm a fan now. I'm a fan.
Just
She
kinda
then turns slightly to Yanae. You did such a wonderful job picking in the Feywild. I was so impressed. You definitely chose correctly. She winks at you.
Thank you.
Turns back to Lamalthun. Her smile is just... It's like the Grinch's smile. And suddenly her teeth are all extremely sharp and long. You're dismissed.
That was all?
Oh no, you're staying, dear. She says that without breaking her eye contact with Lamalthun.
I'll be all
Leave.
right.
Pick up the book. Go ahead. I'll see you in just a few minutes. And I'll leave.
Okay. She then turns her full attention back on you and Yane. And she actually sits down, across the table from you. You interest me. You're quite exciting. My mother would hate you. She had this weird affinity for women, thinking that only women had all the power. I don't see it that way. I'd like to give you a special gift.
Oh. Thank you. I wasn't actually expecting a gift.
Why not? I reward the people who successfully do my tasks, and even those that defend me against the big bad paladin of Madriel. Oh, I appreciate it. And she walks over to you.
Don't view it.
Go ahead.
I don't view it so much as defending. It was. You can obviously defend yourself. It was just kind of an epiphany I had in that moment.
And she walks over to you, and she holds out her hand for you to take.
I take her hand.
She kind of slowly has you stand up out of your chair, and then she embraces you. And her hands actually kind of go underneath your shirt on your back, and her hands press into your back. Kind of about right where your wrap would be that you use around your chest. And you feel that wrap kind of shift and move, and then she immediately almost withdraws her hands. Don't be afraid of who you are, but if you feel that your physical form doesn't represent your spiritual one, I've given you something to fix that. But remember, you don't need to change anything about yourself. I love you the way you are.
This is a gift that what we did does not equate to such a gift. And Yane is actually admiring their body at the moment, and obviously in wonder and tears in their eyes. But definitely feeling as if just bringing pieces of a Titan are not enough. Thanks.
Well, maybe not, but the thing you'll take care of in the sewers will indirectly help me. And, just maybe keep yourself open and embrace the other aspects of me. The witchcraft, the lycanthropy, the moonlight. Maybe not so much the murder in the darkness as Gar would have you seem that I am.
I will keep that in mind.
Very well. Be gone. And as you kind of are finishing your turn to turn around and leave, she morphs back into the crone form with the back and the eyes you immediately recognize as the eyes you continuously saw and the hook nose that you continuously saw out in the blood steps. And then she kind of just steps back into the shadows and her form melts into it and the room is now empty.
I reach in and I pet something in the back of my hood.
He's still there. No, he is still there.
Oh no, I figured he was. I just, Yune definitely views Pelt. The rat's name is Pelt. Views Pelt as a gift from the trip.
Perfect. Then I sent you what she gifted you. I messaged it to you directly.
Sweet.
Okay. Yune finally joins all of you. The acolyte, seeing now that the last person has left the room. Yes, if you'll follow me out. Unless, of course, any of you wanted to make a donation or a sacrifice.
No. We have
Very
business to attend to.
Very well, then. And he leads you outside the temple. Yeah, so now you're all kind of have that moment of like, most of you have this chill that kind of runs down your spine, just not that you're afraid, just kind of like, that was a weird place to be in, man. Mm-hmm. Weird vibes.
Like
bad vibes.
Bad vibes, dude. Bad vibes.
As soon as we're out, I'll look to Yune. Are you okay?
I'm more than okay, actually.
You didn't convert, did you?
No. But I do... This has given me a lot to think about, actually.
Okay.
Just... things not appearing to be what they look like at first glance. You know?
I know that all too well.
But I am well, and I promise that nothing bad had happened.
If it is any consolation to, not even consolation, I don't think, but more of an observation. She didn't actually know that we had completed the task when we stepped in there.
Well,
Feeling she did and was just making conversation.
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that gods are all powerful, but I do think that there can be exchange. Someone can do something and someone else can't, and you just exchange tasks or skills. It's much like going to the market.
But we do all the hard work of capturing and gathering the piece of Mormo so that they can just get rid of it.
That's almost the problem, though, right? Is gods themselves view us not as not even as the shopkeepers, but more a hoe or a shovel, a tool to use as they will and discard. I don't say that I don't believe them or they can't be benevolent when they want to, but I also have a more realistic view of the beings we call gods a little bit as well. At least what I interpret as realistic. I don't. It's not for me to. It's not for me to preach. This is just my viewpoint.
We did a good thing, right?
I believe so.
Well,
And I do
at the
believe
very
she was
least-
being honest.
At the very least, if she is being honest, then, as they said, there will be a little bit less of Mormau. Which means
Because-
a Titan that won't try and kill us before making a deal with us.
They,
You can look at the bright side of Bellsmith. At least she did, in fact, keep her word.
and to her credit, what she said was true. She fought with us. Well, not with us, not with all of us, I suppose. But she
Or
fought.
us.
She fought against the Titans and the people who allied with the Titans.
The
Some
gods
of my
fought
people
for
were
themselves, remember
allied.
that.
They also fought for their followers, though, as well. Like, I don't want to give them too much credit. I don't want to give them too little, though, either.
When you say that, you immediately see Susa feel sad because you mentioned the people who fought with the Titans, thus being her people.
That'd have been your people too.
It's my
Devoke.
people as well, yep.
I think it's more complicated than just a cut and dried generalization. I think
You're
some gods are good, some are bad, some are neither.
And like Bellsmith, I think some can be both.
Yes. Exactly that.
And
I mean, for example, the Broadreach, Horn Saw.
Just call it the Horn Reach.
Broadsaw.
Broadsaw.
The Broadsaw Forest.
Broadsaw Forest.
Bro,
Oh my God.
I've been trying to not say it all night because I heard
So have I.
Bro,
Broadsaw.
Oh, jeez. The goddess prior to at the same time as the corruption by the heart of Mormo, Denev. Denev is a Titan.
yes, the beings we call Titans and gods are fickle, and they're not, I would not say false, but they do what they want when they want to do. A good example is that Madriel was not... When she fought wars, she tried to do things correctly, but for my people who were on what is now the wrong side of history, Madriel was a tough opponent, and she definitely didn't pull any punches. There were not to go so far as, killing women and children, but there was a certain viciousness in the way that all of the gods fought, not just her. So I think you're exactly correct. I don't think that any one god or even Titan is good or bad. It is just their actions that define what they do and who they are. And I think Bellsmith has given me an opportunity to see that she is not what other people claim her to be. And I appreciate the viewpoint, the sliver of vision that I have gotten from that.
as you continue to walk through the city, debating amongst yourselves the basicness of good versus evil, God versus Titan, need of the divine versus the divine's need of mortality. You kind of almost have lost yourselves in this walk of the city. You turn down an alley that doesn't immediately look familiar, but is a little bit off the beaten path. You look down the side street. It's very dark, but you're able to make out someone who's wearing a guard's uniform. And another is a beautiful young girl. A beautiful young girl that looks familiar to a couple other beautiful young girls you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see them kind of getting a little cozy, and the guard pushes her up against the wall. Not immediately, like, violently, but cozily. Putting two and two together, you make this out to be Moira, the sister that has gotten into an affair with one of the guards. And you can see that they start going at it a little bit.
Oh.
Hydra worshippers, am I right?
I don't know what that means.
It's okay, but I think those are the, I think that's the guard we were looking for. Something
There's a moment
gives it away.
where the guard moves his arm from against the wall, brings it back. And I'll have you give me a perception check.
Oh yeah, we're rolling awesome today.
Yikes.
Yikes.
I made a huge, amazing, giant 9.
Man, I still have to roll. I just had to.
Oh my god.
I will use.
Crazy.
I'll use a point on
Wait,
this.
I still let me roll first. And a 15.
Devin bailing you guys out there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jesus
I'll be
Lord.
honest.
Well, enthralled from, that whole thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll be
Now, see,
honest.
Garth-
I thought Zeus's role was Devin's.
So
S-
we'll
So
just go
Gar
with the fact
bails
that
you
Gar is the only one who's accustomed to this type of sight in the middle of the day still.
Yeah, a couple of you have kind of like looked away to not be intrusive or are still kind of shook from your encounter. But Gar kind of pulls you all. He's like, "No, guys, look." And as the arm, well, what was an arm, pulls back, you can see the arm turns into a blade and plunges deep into Moira.
Oh.
The fast and hands everywhere and just kind of teenage makeout session that was happening. Suddenly Moira's body just kind of slumps.
Can I cast a spell?
You're pretty far away, and this is happening quickly. As the arm comes out, you see him turn and look at all of you. No emotion on his face.
If I can get within 120 feet, I'll cast a spell. If I can't,
Yeah, this is about 200 feet down the alley.
Can
Hey,
I range
tail him.
stabby?
You can do it at disadvantage.
I'm gonna give it a shot. But I'm bunch.
I'm booking it
Okay.
straight towards him.
Ooh, 27.
Dis-
Ooh, no,
Disadvantage.
Let's see.
Disadvantage.
Oh god. 27.
In your face.
Okay, all damage.
Dang.
All damage. Holy crap.
Only 7.
Still.
Hey, that's still pretty good.
So the blade arm plunges in, comes back out, looks down. Yune just immediately called to action, pulls the arrow. The short bow string is brought back as far as it can possibly be pulled and is fired. and it just sails perfectly. As the arrow is sailing, you see the arm that was a blade is now an arm again. He reaches into the chest, pulls out an object. The arrow hits it right in the shoulder kind of area, and it stumbles. The guard stumbles forward, looks back at all of you again, still a blank, emotionless face, and sees. I assume the rest of you are also sprinting at this thing along with Devote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It sees all of you closely closing in on it. It turns, runs further down the alley where there's a 60-foot wall that marks the end of this alley, and just in one single leap jumps over it. The rest of you catch up, get to the wall. You all attempt to climb it, I'm assuming.
How high is this wall?
60-foot wall.
And I'm not high enough level to put rocket boosters on Brillo yet, so.
Can I?
I can't see.
I don't know how this mechanics
kind of working together. You know, some of you start climbing the wall. Some of you kind of go around to try to cut off and around the next alley.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time one of you reaches the top of the wall, and by the time you're able to find a parallel alley to kind of come around on the same level, the person's gone. But you got a good look at him. You'd be able to describe this person. They had. Yeah.
Is there a blood trail? Like from
No.
his drippy hand?
No. Like you see a couple splashes of blood, but it looks like they quickly wrapped up both the heart and their wound. This person though had sandy blonde hair, was about 6 feet tall, wearing a guard's uniform. You're able to make out as you were chasing him down. He kind of kept looking back, green eyes, and then had a large scar that ran from the entire length of his jawbone.
Interesting.
I hope he's not too high up in the guards. That would be a problem.
You come back, having lost the killer, and the body of Moira is on the ground, completely lifeless. Guard, you do a quick check with your skills, quickly realize it's another murder victim with another heart missing.
When we
That's
were
where we'll leave it for the week.
okay.
No, Susa, what's your question? Real quick, what's your question?
Oh no, this can. Well, I would have.
So you don't forget it.
Yeah. When we got deputized, were we given like a whistle we can
Sorry.
blow?
No,
Nope, just badges.
no, just badges.
Crime occurred. Blow my whistle.
No,
You
just
could whistle.
badges. You could. Yeah.
No, when Sousa whistles, it just goes.
Wow.
Tongue flapped out.
Wait,
Hey,
Susa,
you're a
make
toy
a
maker.
whistle.
I
Yeah.
could make
True,
a
you
whistle.
can make a whistle.
Yeah, give me an
Crime
hour, I'll make a
whistles.
whistle.
Don't you have
Yes.
like a couple whistles in your bag or something?
No,
Potentially.
I have a bunch of other useless stuff. So
Give us all voice modulators that you put in Brillo.
Does Brillo have a song?
Ah,
No, that'll have to be an add-on. That'll be an add-on.
Can it go bat?
Not yet. Not
actually, you know what? I was hoping that the alarm was going to get tripped, and I was going to have a little red crystal pop out of the top of them and start
yet.
flashing.
Sure. Yes, unfortunately, now we must leave our adventurers as they contemplate their next steps and how they will continue to navigate the perilous world of Skarn. We'll have to wait until next week to see what happens. It's been a pleasure telling you the story, listener. We hope you enjoyed what you saw and heard as much as we enjoyed performing it for you. Thank you for watching and listening, and to our Patreon supporters, Weapon M, Don Arnetto, and David. Let's hear from our players now. Once again, your name, handle, character, and where people can find you outside of Warple Tales.
And I am Dwayne at Made of Kimchi on the Internet. Tonight I was playing Sousa, and the next time you will see me will be tomorrow, running the first session of Trinity Continuum Aberrant.
Rad.
Hey everybody, I have been playing Yunei, who is not a girl. They are a they. And I can be found all over the internet as Changeling Ever because I am Ever and my pronouns are they, them. You can find me next Sunday evening playing the mage cult crossover of glorious, creepy, eldritch amazingness. And you can also find me on Etsy at Neat and Co Designs, as in, hey Every, that's a neat necklace you're wearing.
I'm glad someone co-designed it for you.
Hi everybody, I am Steve. You can find me on the internet at Voodoo Arcade. Tonight I played Lament, and next you'll find me on Sundays playing White Walls Mage the Ascension.
And hello and goodbye, everyone. I am Devin, and I played Gar. Next time you can find me is actually going to be today, next week on Friday, for the next session of Dracogenesis Titans Lament.
Hell yeah. I am John, otherwise known as J3 Billion on the interwebs, otherwise known as Devok here in the Scarred Lands. And it has been my absolute pleasure. And the next time you can see me is going to be this Sunday, 10 o'clock, watching our resident Space Lord play Venheim.
That's 10 o'clock a.m.
Yes, AM, not PM.
Perfect. I have been Patty Shakes _, and it'll be another week before you'll be able to find out what happens to our lovable rapscallions. I'd like to just throw out there on a personal note for me, on this day, 4 years ago, Voodoo Arcade Steven here introduced me to the fine world of tabletop RPGs, and it has been a slippery slope since then, and has brought me to where I am now. So I would like to give a personal shout out and my love to Steven for wonderful things you have done to my life by agreeing to teach a bunch of losers how to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I was not prepared for that. Thank you.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of time before votes. In the meantime, catch up with Tale's other shows. We have a quite awesome lineup these days now. And we just changed a couple things, so pay attention so you can know what's coming up. Tomorrow, as several of our lovely people mentioned, is, yes, the Mage Cult crossover game. Yes. Mondays is Cyberpunk and an Image of Man Made. Saturday is the start of the Trinity Continuum Aberrant Quantum Nights. I know I'm jumping around days here, but I have a list here and it makes sense. Tuesdays, we are starting with Victorian Age Mage the Ascension. It's going to be, I believe the first session was already had last week, and then we continue it going on. It's awesome. Wednesdays, we're starting a new game as well. It's going to be Tales from the Loop, Porn in the Woods, run by Space Lord Pajamas.
Did he really go with that
Yes, he
goddamn
did.
name?
And then Thursday is going to be Black Void, Lights and Darkness, run by Meta Kimchi here. Awesome person. And then next week, Friday, same time, same place, Scarred Lands, Dracogenesis, Titans Lament, with yours truly. All right, true fans, our players are going to vote on each other. And then you, the watcher, can also vote for your favorite player. We're going to tally everything up, and we're going to reward our players appropriately. Basically, what ends up being is any votes they get allows them to roll advantage or call disadvantage on an enemy. So, in the same order as usual, please vote for your favorite player tonight.
My vote is going to have to go to Yene. A significant change to their character, and I think that they played it out very well.
Thank you. I am going to give so I almost said so decision. This is so decision. I'm gonna give mine to the Malthoon because of causing the characters to really think, like, what are gods? What, like, and you'd done it before in other games, but this game, it seemed like it finally kind of clicked for the rest of the characters. So, oh, this is what Lamalthoon's been saying.
Thank you. I also am going to be voting for Yene. That moment and that development was awesome, and you did so good. That was big, and that was awesome.
I'm going to continue the run and also give it to Yane. But for a secondary reason aside of just 200 yards, I'm going to shoot him.
Yes.
Yes.
And then that advantage. Oh my god.
Disadvantage. Doesn't matter. I shoot him.
Doesn't matter. I'm a badass elf archer. Let's go.
It's only 200 yards. What?
Let's go. Yeah, I'm gonna be so non-conformist that I conform, and I'm going to give mine to Yane. Again, for all of the other listed reasons, it was a fantastic arc tonight, and I enjoyed every minute of it.
It was awesome.
Awesome. And yes, there was such good role playing tonight that I'm going to continue the trend I've been doing. And not only am I giving you all a DM inspiration for the next game, but you all level up. Congratulations, everyone is now level 4.
Yay!
So our players will work on their character sheets between now and the next session. And at the beginning of the next session, we'll give you guys a brief recap of what our players gained from their level up to start the game off. So we hope you enjoyed the story tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Don't you dare tune into any other channel because Vorpal Tales is where it's at. But until next time, may Corian light your way. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay adventurous, make good choices.
Bye.